Should be good to go. All right. I think we're live. Yeah, we're good. What's up, people? Fat Man Zoom's having some technical difficulties, so apologies for going up a little bit late, but we're gonna get started anyway, and he's just gonna hop in when he is good and ready. We also have Freddie Valoy here, so there's lots of stuff that we're super pumped for today's stream. But let me just get this out of the way. The stock market's on fire right now. It is. I'm having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you guys are too. So many things that are popping off right now. In particular, the cyclicals are going nuts. Pens up beautifully. Oil's going nuts as well. After some crazy times that we've seen over the last couple of weeks that we really kind of expected because of some of the headwinds and fears that run around the market, but Republicans and Democrats ended up extending the debt ceiling for at least another 6 weeks or so, maybe about 8. I think it's 6 weeks actually. So we got 6 weeks of that. So the markets felt really optimistic about it. We started to see things really kind of turn themselves back on. The Dow Jones is going absolutely crazy. If we look at the markets right now, the indices are up. Dow's up 385 points. It was up at 500 points at one point today. S&P is up about 44 and a half. NASDAQ is up 188. So that is really good for the markets overall. Crude oil is going to be around $79 a barrel. Numbers we haven't seen for about 7 years, which is pretty awesome. Anyways, let's get things started off on the right foot here. My name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and we've made it our mission to help you guys own it. And let me get us off with the starting five here. We got Beka Twoon, Sean Ethier, Savvy Money Show, Rudy Brown, Kitty Plans, and we'll just throw Lexa in there for good measure. What's good, guys? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day like the rest of us. And it's just been awesome. I mean, I know Fat Man Zoom, if you guys caught the short that he put up this morning, got into some Sam leaps, some options calls there, and they're crushing it. He's having a fantastic day on Sam too. So just a really good day overall. My options on Apple are doing really well too. But yeah, let's hear. How are you guys doing? Put it in the chat. What are you winning on today? What's your biggest win? What's your biggest trade of the day? What are you happiest about? That's going off. Me personally, my whole account's up 5.5%. So my day is rocking and rolling. My biggest winner for me personally is OIH. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Penn National is up quite a bit as well. So my biggest winner for the day is Penn National, followed up by OIH, which, again, is the oil ETF. So oil, again, has been popping off. So I'm super leveraged in that. And so, yeah, see a couple of people saying Marathon. So Marathon Oil, obviously still in that same vein. A firm for Ronaldo. Good stuff there. Ronaldo, good on you. Way to go. AMD and Penn, says Alonzo. Awesome. Yeah, so let me share my screen with you here real quick. And we got Tesla that just popped off towards the end of the day here. And actually, let's see. Yeah, really towards the end of the day, it popped up over 805, has settled back down to 797. But what a day for Tesla. I mean, my goodness, rocking and rolling there. Pretty good stuff. So if you guys are just coming in, just joining us, we got a lot of things going on. We're going to be talking about the overall market today, but Freddie Valoy is going to be buying his first stock today. So super pumped about that. He is waiting in the wings there. And we got a couple of other things we're going to address too. Some of the Facebook drama that's continuing to go on. And what the fuck is up with this Shiba coin? Okay, we're going to get into all of that stuff. So I have no idea what's up with Shiba coin, but we're going to discuss it a little bit and see where we go from there. But it looks like Fat Man Zoom is ready to go. So I'm going to bring him in real quick.
Let me in.
What's up, my man?
Me down. What's going on? Oh, we got the delay. There's the delay.
I'm good.
But are you though?
I don't know.
No, keep doing your thing. I was listening, so keep doing your thing. What's up, people? Fat Man Zoom in the house.
Yeah, no, I was just going over Tesla real quick. Tesla had a really big pop off over the last hour or two, so that really went crazy. Lots of people excited about that. I was just asking the folks what their big win was on, and I was letting them know about your Sam call.
Yeah, Tesla actually just began their annual shareholder meeting, so that could have something to do with it. That's like going on right now as we speak. So
Yeah.
look out for any information regarding that. They're trying to give Elon's brother the old boot. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I got into Sam Leaps last week. um, and Don Fran is in the house. What's up, Don? He's been helping me navigate through the options world. We actually have our first video coming out together on Friday, guys. So if you want to check it out, 8:45 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to be premiering our first options video every Friday. Brad, you and I are going to talk to Don. He's going to help us through. But one of the things we discussed were leaps in our past few weeks conversation. And so, Sam, we'd been talking about it, been oversold, and we were just waiting for this the opportunity on when it might reverse. I felt like it was coming around soon, and I think with everything going on, as I mentioned in the shorts, hospitality payroll is looking strong. Sam Adams, certainly the fall is a strong time for Sam Adams, and in general, it's just an overall good company, Boston Beer Company in general. So, so far so good, looks good as well.
Yeah, all good stuff today. Why don't we go ahead and do we want to bring in Freddie for the SHIBA talk?
Yeah, we can bring them in, guys. If you haven't been here before on a Thursday, not only is the stock market chaotic like we talk about, but it could be hella boring sometimes talking about the same stuff. So we decided to bring in reinforcement, the big guns, as we call it, our comedic friend, Freddie Valoy. Let's let him in.
Let's go.
You can't see the guns.
Hold on.
There we go.
Hey.
Oh, look how I'm feeling. Look at this. Check this. Look at these fucking vans, baby.
Ooh.
Those are the red, white, and blues, baby. I'm feeling American as shit today. These are my Captain America vans. Hold on. This is a better. Hold on. Hold up.
Whoa, a lot of time.
There.
The ball almost popped out the bottom of the shorts. You see that? Guys, listen, I know there's a battle between generations, and it's all cute. The boomers versus the millennials. But I just realized, and I really didn't know who was the better generation because there's, pluses and minuses for both. But I figured it out. Millennials win the generation war because boomer men didn't really squat. There wasn't a lot of squatting going on. So you got weak foundations there. Also, boomer men never really care if their women orgasm. So we got them. Those are too big law. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I try to be objective with this, So that's, if you're ever wondering about that generation war, that's why millennials win. And you want the younger generation to win, right? That's what you do. You want it to progress. You want to evolve as people, right? Haitians at the border, that's this craziness going on. A couple weeks ago or something like that. There was the dudes on horses. It looks like the guys were whipping the dudes, so it brought back imagery from like slavery, and people were not having it, man. White liberals were very upset at that imagery. They do not want to be reminded about slavery. They're like, you need to get them off the horses. So they took the Border Patrol agents off the horses. But like, how are they going to do the job, right? It's an uncomfortable thing, but the job needs to get done. We need some type of border, right? Liberals are like, get them off the horses. I don't care what you do. Fucking put them on go-karts. I don't give a shit. Like imagine Border Patrol agents chasing migrants on go-karts. And then you just put the sound of like Mario Kart over it too, just to help us digest it, just like, zzz, wah, 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 wah. Like, shit like that. Put some graphics. Let's get some YouTube editing on there, guys. Make the news a little bit more palatable. Another thing we could do is just have Border Patrol agents on foot. Yeah, that would be funny to watch, like dudes trying to like juke people to get by. Like, fuck. Like, when somebody gets by here on football, you're like, shit. Also, the amount of knees that are going to be tweaked. Because one of the funniest things to me is middle-aged men getting injured. Not something crazy, like not hospitalization, but tweaking a knee or something like that. When you see a middle-aged guy just like, it's a guilty pleasure of mine, I don't know. But obviously on foot, that's not practical, right? You just can't especially most of the border patrol people are white, and then you got Mexicans and Haitians coming in, just the speed difference there. You know what I'm saying? So I actually figured out a solution, guys. We're going to put border patrol agents on BMX bikes with the pegs, 2 border patrol agents per bike. All right. I know money's tight in the US. So if we need to do a third, we could do a third border patrol agent on the handlebars, like back in the day, just balancing. Have dudes just jump off and grab people, I don't know. The worst part for me wasn't the imagery of the horse and the slave catching and all that. That's whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is America. So the worst part for me was there was a man, one of the Haitian guys was holding a bag out as he's like running away from the border patrol agent. And inside the bag, he had a to-go box, like a styrofoam to-go box. My man was protecting his to-go food. And that to me is the coldest shit ever. What kind of man hunts down another man just trying to take his to-go food? The fact that he took his to-go food out the restaurant already shows you that he should be an American citizen. He remembered. I guess with the conditions, you kind of will remember food. But you know what I'm talking about, guys. Border Patrol agents on BMX bikes. I'm going to bring it back to you guys.
That face, the middle-aged man getting injured and tweaking his knee, that is priceless.
I saw Sleepy Hippo, I think, was put on there. Said something about Doge is a boomer coin now.
Oh
yeah.
That is
That's how quickly things move.
yes. Speaking of which, we do have a new, I guess, millennial coin as it relates to Doge, which is SHIBA. We have the SHIBA Inu coin that's now been going crazy. I don't even know how to tell you how much this costs because and I come from Pennyland. I cut my teeth on over the counter penny stocks. Things were priced at fractions of a penny, but they went as far as about 0.001 cents per share. We're now going into 5 and 6 zeros at this point, and just to look at the chart here, it's going pretty crazy. It's gone up well over 1,000%, but it's still practically worthless from $1. And if you guys aren't familiar with, let me bring us back here. If you guys aren't familiar with what's going on here or what SHIBA actually is, it is a coin that's basically it was a spoof. It was a joke off of Dogecoin because SHIBA is another term for a dog, a Japanese term for a dog. The creator was pretty is anonymous at this point. They said again it came from Japan, but they don't know who it is. It seems to be how this type of thing goes, but it's going off. There really is no intrinsic value here as far as SHIB's concerned, but it's just the latest trend in I guess meme coins or however you want to label this. But interesting stuff, Fat Man Zoom. And I know that you've gotten a couple of people out to you asking about it. Are you getting in all this other stuff? What's your take on SHIBA?
It's embarrassing. You should be embarrassed with yourself. Let me be clear. For those of you guys who play these moves, I've got no issues. Like the experienced ones that understand the just the hype and, the ones that have been around, they understand, okay, now everybody's talking about it. They get their gains and they get out and it's on to the next one. This is not for you. This is for my friends and the people that don't trade, don't invest, and this is how they want to start. It's so embarrassing. But let me say, this is a conversation because I was having a conversation today. Somebody had mentioned or asked if I had bought SHIBA coin. I had the same exact conversation last night at our man meal. It goes like this. You buying SHIBA coin? No, it's just the latest, greatest hype stock, whatever. And they're like, well, and I'm like, I'd like to invest my stuff in more reliable stuff. And, if you want to gamble, it's just straight gambling. I have no issues if you YOLO. Yeah, well, I mean, it's gone up hundreds of percent, right? Like 300% or whatever. Yeah, I know. And it's the same thing, the same statistics that they give me. And then they're like, well, I got it. And it's going to go to, and they say the exact same number. They say the exact same, it's going to a penny. You fools. It's not going to a penny because all you think is going to go to a penny. You're going to hold on to it. It's going to get close. And then what's going to happen? You're going to be stuck with the bag, Brad. And that's going to be that 5 zeros is going to turn into 7 zeros. And you're going to be what happened. And then I say, they're like, well, I'm up a bunch of money. And I'm like, they're like, I made a bunch of money off of it. And my question, the next most important question is, oh, so you sold it? No, I haven't sold it. Well, dumbass, if you didn't sell it, you haven't made a bunch of money off of it. And this is where it's frustrating to me. Guys, you did the same thing with Doge, right? Like you're doing, it's Cum Rocket is a thing. You're going to do the same thing with Cum Rocket. That is a legitimate blockchain. And you're going to do it with Cum Rocket. It's ridiculous. There are people that will make money, but friends, my friends, I'm telling you, it's not you. By the time you've heard it, it's too late. So don't come here, just buy fucking Apple and call it a day. I'm sorry. It fires me up, man.
Yeah, listen, I'm not mad at anybody who's, to your point, I'm not mad at anybody who wants to YOLO this trade. You got some spare money that you could either go to the slot machine, or you could go play poker, or you could go buy SHIBA or SHIB coin. Like that's the play. If you're buying it, because you think it's going to change your zip code, or this is a solid investment, then you got another thing coming. So that's my take on it as well. Like it just doesn't. Everybody can get hype on this thing, and that's fine. But as long as you go into it with the understanding that you're just gambling your money away, I ain't mad at you. It's those people that just buy in and go hard on this stuff, thinking that it's just gonna, like I said, change their zip code. They're gonna buy Lambos with this shit. That's the stuff that's kind of to me.
It sounds foolish, because I agree with you. Like, yeah, throw a couple $100s at it. Throw whatever you want at it. But like, it sounds foolish when you tell me it's going to this number. You have no clue. You really have zero clue. Nobody knows what it's going to. Now, if you say, hey, at 50 cents I'm getting, or at a half a cent I'm getting out, cool, whatever. If you have a plan, cool. Get your exit strategy straight. And you all, I'm sure a lot of our chaos crew is going to make money off of this because they know the foolishness that's going to happen. But what it is no different than when my friends go gambling, and the casinos are built off of this. You go to the casino, you hit one night, you make a few $1,000s. And you know what you do after that, Brad? You keep going to the casino and you keep trying to hit that $3,000 night. You get more aggressive, you get a little cocky, and you give them back their $3,000, and then you give them $3,000 more for good measure, and you keep chasing. So those people that, even if they do make money off of Doge and SHIB, all you're going to do is chase the next great one, and you're going to get more cocky, and you're going to get more aggressive, and you're going to give your money back and then some. I guarantee it. That's a Fat Man Zoom guarantee, Freddie.
Ooh, I like that. I want to buy it now.
Did you buy Doge? Did you buy Doge when that went crazy?
No.
Good.
I figured that would have been something you'd have gone after.
I went. There was a time where I was like, I should buy right now, just like throwing $100. And had I done that, would have been great. But I'm sure a lot of people said that. But no, literally the first stock or thing like this that I'm buying is today. So.
Cool.
Yeah. Well,
we're super excited about. Go ahead.
Let's set that up. So Freddie is a newcomer, has never invested in or never traded stock. So we are actually, he's set up a Weeble. He's put money in. He's got $1,000 to spend. Daddy got money. So he's going to actually today live make his first trade. So we're going to try to sell him on some stocks. Brad brought to the table how he would spend $1,000. I brought to the table how I would spend $1,000. And then we're going to let Freddie decide. We're going to sell him on it.
I love it. I feel like Judge Judy. Let's go.
First, we got a couple headlines that we got to roll through, Brad. So yes. There's two. We'll do this. We'll try to keep this quick and tight so we can pause. So we can get into the $1,000. First topic of conversation. We found an article on the COVID-19. It's kind of like the freshman 15, everybody gaining weight over COVID. We knew that athleisure was a thing over COVID, just people being home. Well, now it's becoming a thing. There's still going to be demand as we open. It's because people just gained weight and they need to lose the weight. And so that was kind of what the article was surrounding as far as the trends and how people gain weight over COVID. They were sedentary. And then it talks about how more people plan to continue the stay at home or the eat in trend because they're trying to eat healthier, eat fresh or whatnot. But in this conversation, I wanted to ask you, Freddie, what did you learn about yourself and those around you as you navigated through COVID? Because I think we all experienced the roller coaster as far as gaining and losing weight throughout.
Oh yeah, man. I'm in the middle of it. I actually recently accepted because I was a Division I wrestler. I was an MMA fighter. You know, your boy was tight. You know what I'm saying? And the other day, a comic that moved to LA came back, and the first thing he said when he saw me, he goes, "Dude, what the fuck, man? You got fat." Thank God I had accepted my body. Like about a month ago, I was like, dude, I kind of like I was looking at a video of me doing stand-up and I saw my belly and I was like, the belly looks okay. It's not that bad. You know, I'm cool with it. And he hit me with that. And I definitely hurt my feelings, but he was right. I gained weight. I'm in that boat. I'm counting macros now. I just signed up for Freshly, which is like, you know, meals they're measured out. They're already cooked. Bomb. Cause I did the other one where you got to cook it, but I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm in the trenches right now trying to lose this weight.
Yeah, I think we all, we started COVID. We hit the gym hard. We hit the workouts hard. We were getting fit. Then we got comfortable, gained a bunch of weight. And I think we're all there now where it's like, okay, we got to get back in public. So hitting that Peloton, shout out to Don Fran saying we need to follow him on Peloton, Don Fran Show. I'm Fat Man Zoom on Peloton. Brad, are you on the Chaos or is it something else on Peloton?
No, I am on the Chaos on Peloton.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, you are. So guys, follow us on Peloton. We've been riding, so join us. So I got Brazil wedding in December, so I'm locking it in for that. So I am too trying to lose some pounds, but we're all going through it. It's all an endless cycle. But Brad, yes. Bringing it back to stocks, which clothing maker are you looking for at a potential buy?
You know, it's interesting that we're bringing up the whole COVID-19 as if it was the freshman 19 because Levi, the CEO of Levi's, mentioned the same thing. So they actually had earnings today, and they came out and blew earnings out of the water. Supply chain issues didn't seem to be a problem for Levi's. They attributed a lot of that to the back to school thing. But the CEO of Levi's also made mention of the fact that everybody's sizing up in jeans. And a lot of it has to do with the pandemic. And so that's why I actually wanted to talk about that today. So for me, it's going to be Levi Strauss. This stock actually has gone up and done really well. And really, it's just the retail space in general, I think, may continue to do well. So this, again, is up 8.5% this morning, or this afternoon, rather. It came right off the 200-day moving average, starting to move back up over that 50-day. I like Levi's here. You could go after Nike, could go after Under Armour, some of the other retailers out there. But, the supply chain issues are a problem. But the fact of the matter is that these retailers are still coming in above expectations, despite some of the supply chain issues that we're experiencing. And that's why I like Levi's.
As David Pearls, is that David Perlmutter? David Pearl.
Yeah.
Fuck, I fucked it up again. Anyways. I knew it from a Perlmutter. Wasn't it Perlmutter? Didn't we decide that's what it was?
Oh, damn. That's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
You just followed me on Peloton. Follow us on Peloton. We be riding all the time. Next topic, the Facebook whistleblower. And I don't know if you guys watched this interview, but this woman, listen, here's my thought. I'll give my quick thought on it. Facebook whistleblower talked about Facebook content, really prioritizing polarizing content and essentially saying that everything Facebook's saying they're doing on the surface, they're not actually really giving an effort, and they're prioritizing polarizing content and negative content, and they're not doing enough. I have my sentiments, which I don't really want to get into because I care more about what you guys think, specifically Freddie, because you're in the mix and you've actually talked about TikTok content, and you also create a lot of content, and you've talked about polarizing content as well. So my question to you is, Freddie, is this an employee scorned and she's just trying to drum up some hate, or does she have merit in what she's saying? Who does the onus fall on regarding the content of these sites?
So I don't think she's an employee scorned. She seemed like she was in the zone when she was talking. I saw the video, so I got to see her body language. It seems like she's genuinely concerned. She saw some shit. That's the vibe she had. Somebody that saw some shit and they let you know. So I do believe her. The onus on who it is, I mean, the not fun answer, I think at the end of the day is the people, but I guess in the middle of the day is Facebook. You know what I'm saying? At the end, they're choosing profits over our safety, which is really fucked up. Like on a philosophical level, is not cool. But you can't expect these corporations to look out for our best interest at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people tell, like, guys will be like, what the fuck? You know, people still don't get TikTok. They're like, what's going on with that? It's just young girls dancing, dude. Like, blah, blah, blah. TikTok's algorithm prioritizes watch time, right? So that means they give you more of what you're watching. So, Papi, if you are 5 minutes in and you're still seeing little girls dancing, that is on you. And now other platforms are now changing their algorithm to be more like TikTok. So it's on us. You know, if you're going to keep watching the bullshit, they're going to keep feeding it to you. So I'm not a parent yet, but that's something that I'm thinking about. Like, I have to, you know, arm my future child with the ability to like understand that this is kind of bullshit. You got to look at things, but that seems like a pretty fucked up feat, but I think it's something we got to do.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. My issue with Facebook is regarding like saying one thing in the public and saying one thing behind closed doors. Unfortunately, you do have to be political in that way. But yeah, I mean, you're consuming it, you know, so that's a whole nother conversation that we could really dig deep into. Brad, should Facebook shareholders be worried, or is this a dip buy opportunity?
I don't think Facebook shareholders should be worried. I think this is a dip buying opportunity. If it's one thing that we've learned from all the other issues that we've seen from Facebook, it's that nobody really cares from an investor standpoint. From a social standpoint, they do, but Facebook still crushes it day in and day out as a business. The things that they do for small businesses as well doesn't go unheard or unseen. And so, you know, we look back at the Cambridge Analytica debacle and how many people were affected by that. And then what happens to Facebook, right? It just goes right back up. So I think in the short term, we could see some rockiness, but, you know, we look at the daily chart and it's already starting to curl back up after its crazy drop off from all the news. So I think that we get this back up into the trend that we're seeing here, this channel, that'll be good news for a lot of Facebook holders. If we get this back in the 350 range, I have 350 calls and 360 calls on this, so I'm certainly hoping it does. But I really do think that we'll see that move back up in there probably pretty shortly.
Yeah, I agree. And fundamentally, it's looking good. I think after earnings, I think this is going to be kind of a non-issue. So I think it will be an opportunity. So remains to be seen, guys. We'll certainly keep this top of mind. We're live every day, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday. So that's technically not every day. So I lied, but we're live 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, Sundays at 7:30 p.m. So we will bring this up as new information comes out. Make sure you subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, just hit the like just to do it. So let's get into it, man. Listen, we got $1,000 to work with, baby.
Let's do it.
Freddie, you ready, boy?
Yeah, let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
All right. So here's a couple things that I want everybody to remember. So this is a little bit of fun, but it's also a learning opportunity. A lot of you that are listening, especially the Chaos crew that have Bulls and Bears, you're going to be with Brad and myself. So most of this stuff you already know, but this is really for the first timer, your first $1,000. Brad and I were tasked with how would we spend it? We're going to sell you on it, Freddie. And at the end of the day, you're going to make a decision on which way you're going to go. And so we're a couple things that I think need to be set the stage for people who are thinking about getting in the market. A couple considerations. What is the time horizon? So with this, this is essentially a long-term investment account. Is that correct, Freddie?
Yes.
So it's not something we're going to be getting in and out of. We're just going to be adding to over time. And then the other thing you have to consider is your risk tolerance. And I haven't asked you this, but I'm going to ask you now, what is your risk tolerance? Are you more conservative or do you towards more of aggressive risk taker?
You know, based on my history, I've spent a lot of money on hard drugs. So I'm going to say I'm a risk taker. Okay. And this seems way more productive for my future than the drugs I did. I don't regret the drugs. I think they made me a better person, but now this is the new phase of my life. This is my new cocaine. This is new cocaine off a girl's bum. You know what I'm saying?
Or off a wrestling teammate's bum.
Or that, yeah. Like rainbow shot.
That's a story for another day.
Shiba coin is cocaine through the bum.
Yes.
All right. So as we get demonetized, Brad, do you want to kick it off? How would you spend your first $1,000 if you were Freddie?
Yeah. So if I had $1,000, the first thing that I would do is I would look at some high quality stocks. And Freddie, if I told you that putting all $1,000 into a stock that's returned over 35,000% since inception of in the markets, would that maybe perhaps sway you?
35,000%. That's a good number, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah.
That stock, Freddie, would be none other than Apple. Apple has had those kind of monster returns. If you take away all the splits and everything else that they've gone through, 35,000% since Apple's inception into the stock market. And it just continues to deliver day in and day out. This is one of those stocks that people consider a value stock, but also a growth stock. The growth is still very much there. It's a good place to park your money. Anybody who asks me if they should start a savings account or an investing account, I say start an investing account and just continue to put in an Apple. Don't even bother with the savings account. It's just that good of a stock. So for me personally, I think that I would probably take that $1,000, split it up in the quarters, and to just add to Apple incrementally. So you buy Apple with the first $250 you got, and then buy into weakness. So we start to see a rash of red days on Apple. Usually ends up being a pretty decent time to consider scooping some more up. And then that's what I would do with that $1,000. And then as you start adding more money to the account, look for other things to buy later on.
I like that. That's a strong pitch. 35,000%. I mean, you can't argue with that. I like that. Anything else, Brad? What do we got? That's
all I got. I yield to Mr. Fat Man Zoom.
All right.
I'm sorry. I was trying to take a couple notes. You mentioned scaling in. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Scaling in $250 at a time out of that $1,000.
Okay. Got it. All right. So I read the crowd, right? This is for the crowd that I'm pitching to here. And for people who get into investing, one of the things I think the easiest thing to do to start is just buy stuff that you're into, things that you use already, things that you love. And Freddie, with the old plantain cap, I think I know you, and I think I know what you like. So stop me when I say anything's wrong. My first stock is going to be Apple. So I agree with Brad. Apple, you have a Mac, you have an iPhone. You understand the power of Apple, and they got a lot of other good stuff going on, but I'm not going to belabor it because I think we can all agree Apple's a great place to start. So the first one's Apple. The second one is going to be, people saw it earlier when you flashed them thighs, Lululemon. And it could be any retailer, but I'm pretty sure you love Lululemon. You recently on your Instagram, your DoloCast, shout out to Freddie Valoy DoloCast. Check it out, Fred Talk. You talked about short shorts and why you wear short shorts, and Lululemon sponsored. So you love Lululemon. I think you could pick. I know some people are going to tell you to buy, talk about Crocs. You mentioned you would buy Crocs. Bro, if you want to pick Lululemon, if you want to pick Crocs, if you want to pick Nike, Under Armour, pick a retail stock. But it seems like you love Lululemon. Is that fair?
Yeah, if I'm buying the stock off of my support for the company, I mean, Brad, put me on a full screen here. I mean, guys, these right here are the ABC pant, right? I bought one of these, and I was washing them like 2 or 3 days a week because I love them so much. They're super breathable, a good summer pant. You can wear them to work. You can wear them to the gym. You can wear them casual. You can throw some sneakers, shoes, throw a jacket over it. Super, just best $130 I spent. Look how many colors. I got 5 pairs of the ABC, and that ABC stands for anti-ball crushing pant. I'm like the Thanos of. They call me Thanos at Lululemon. One more. Once I get the navy blue pair, I could snap flat butts out of existence, guys. All right, that's where I'm at. So I do, big fan of Lululemon. Yeah, and I got the shorts on to prove it. I'm showing the thighs thanks to them.
And I mean, anybody that wears Lululemons, once you wear them once, you're sold on it. The next stock I'm going to go with is Disney. And I'm doing Disney for your love of Marvel. They own the Marvel brand. I've seen you wear your Doctor Strange shirt. We've talked about Shang-Chi. Say it for me, Freddie.
Shang-Chi.
And so Disney, first of all, I think it's at an opportunity level. So I think it's on a little bit of a discount. But on top of that, I think that Disney Plus is only starting and reopening cruises, parks, all that other stuff. Revenue is going to it's already starting to come in, but it's going to pour in for people who want to entertain themselves, pent up demand. Disney, what do you think about that?
I fucking love it. I mean, I have a running kind of joke in my life where I think Disney's going to run the government at some point, and they're going to get us back to where, they're going to actually make America great again. That Disney, I mean, and just what I know with the plans that they have with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I mean, they got big things coming. They've revolutionized a superhero movie. Superhero movies went from like mostly shitty to now you can go and at least get your money's worth on the thing. And they're changing the game. The stories are getting better. Really like the Disney thing. I love the story you're wrapping around all these. You know how to get me. You're creating a lot of emotion here. I'm an emotional guy.
And here's the last thing, and I'm glad you said that you're an emotional guy. Another thing I know about you is you're a bit ADD. You also, it's hard to keep your attention. So I needed to factor that into it. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring you a speculative stock. If you're not aware what speculative stock is, it's like a less certain stock. So Apple, Disney, they're going to be around 10, 15, 20 years, no doubt about that. But in that, you're not going to get as much volatility. So the stock's not going to have as big of swings. And so they're higher risk, but they're higher reward. And so I think that brings a little bit more excitement. So I'm going to bring Airbnb as my final stock. You love to travel. You have stayed at Airbnbs. I suspect that you love Airbnbs. And we believe, again, travel demand should be huge. We believe Airbnb is going to continue to dominate. So I think you should buy one of each of these shares. And as you continue to add money to your account, continue to slowly pick up more of these shares. But Freddie, I think this is the perfect little mini portfolio for you.
So you know what? Both of you are right, because before this episode even started, I had already bought some Apple, because the last episode, you guys mentioned it, and also the Chaos Crew. You guys threw in Apple there a lot, so I went with that. And you're right. I'm a space cadet. I like to have different things going on, So I'm gonna go with Disney for sure. That's like what that I'm doing that. I am gonna go with Lululemon, because they've accentuated butts over the last couple decades, and I respect that. Okay? And then I'm gonna, with the speculative stock, I'm gonna do Airbnb, because once again, it's not even the fact that I use it as a customer or whatever. Now what I'm in the process of doing is trying to do this rental arbitrage thing where I rent the property, and short-term Airbnb it out. So like I'm in the process of finding. So I'm on both ends of Airbnb. Big fan. And I think more people are going to be traveling and stuff like that. So yeah, I think these four: Apple, Disney, Lulu, and Airbnb. I'm gonna do those. So now my next question is, I guess, how much of each do I get? What's the what's the rule of thumb? I know some cost more than others. Like
Yeah. So let me also say this, and I want Brad to chime in here in a second, because I want to give you some not parameters. I want to give you some words of wisdom, things we wish we would have knew for our first $1,000. But to answer your question, you can only buy one. That's all. Like the cost of the stocks of the shares, you're only able to buy one based on the price. Now, if you went with something a little bit cheaper, you can get more of that. But so it makes it really easy. Just buy one of each.
Okay.
But the one thing I wanted to tell you, I forgot to mention speculative. I'm going to put a little bit of parameters on you. Guys, if you haven't seen the Perfectly Balanced Portfolio, we discuss a well-balanced, diversified portfolio. One of the things I mentioned is leverage into speculative. And we've all fallen victim to it, but especially new traders fall victim to this, Freddie. And what they do is the majority of their stocks are speculative, so riskier, and less of the value or growth. And so I'm only going to allow you to, we say 10%, but 10 to 25%. I would discourage you from allocating any more than 25% of your portfolio into speculative stocks. What do you say, Brad?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. The trap that people get themselves into is that they fall in love with these stocks that they think they can go up 1,000% or more. And before they know it, all of their portfolio is wrapped up in the stocks like that. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that, since the pandemic, when everybody thought they knew what they were doing, getting into some of these crazy ass penny stocks. So to avoid falling into that trap, then yeah, I would say anywhere between 10 to 25%, no more than 25% into speculative plays.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means that if you want to, if you're, if Airbnb is allocated 25% of your account, then you got to sell it to pick something else up. You just have to remember that.
Okay.
And shout out to Don. I think you're going to have around $100 left over, Freddie. So I'm going to throw one more in there for you. And this actually, Brad, you're going to tell me, I don't know if we would consider this speculative or not. And that's Realty Income Corporation is a dividend stock. I think dividend stocks are good for you. This is also a monthly dividend stock. And it's got a good yield. So the yield is 4%, which is solid. So I would throw a dividend stock in there as well, so you can get your feet wet in that.
A dividend.
Are you aware of what dividends? Yeah,
no,
I was going to say.
What is that?
Yep.
So essentially, the company pays you to continue to invest with them. So as the stock's performing, not only are you getting potential returns on how high the stock goes up, but they're also going to give you a dividend in the form of cash. So you could choose to either reinvest the money they give you every month, or just take it and use it for whatever you want.
And it's a small amount, but it compounds over time. So essentially, for every share you own, they're going to give you a certain amount of money. So they'll say, we'll give you for every share you own.
So I'm thinking with that extra 100, I just put that more into Apple. What do you guys think of that? Is the dividend that much better, or where I should just get in there anyway and then put some more into Apple later?
So you could choose what you want. You could choose what you want. So the thing with Apple is that it's $143 a share. So if you only have $100 left over, you won't be able to buy another share of Apple until you're ready to add more to your account. You could either do that and wait and then add more to Apple, or you could go ahead and buy something like Realty Income, where you could actually put the $100 in there and then get paid 25 cents or whatever on the dollar for or 25 cents per share that you own.
Well, let me add to that, because that kind of goes into sort of our words of wisdom. I think what I would focus on now, if I were you, is not so much on how much this account makes. Because honestly, if it just breaks even, if I were you, I'd be happy with that. This is about education. So I would focus more on education. So I would encourage a dividend stock, because now you're learning about a bunch of different things. You're learning about speculative, you're learning about growth, you're learning about value. And so this is more, I would look at this right now as an educational tool. And if it's an educational tool, I would say O is probably the way to go, or a dividend stock. There's Verizon. There's a bunch of opportunities for dividend stocks as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm going to do that. My question is, so with all these, I'm just putting money in, right? I'm never having to worry about taking out anytime soon. Correct. Like I don't do I have to watch something?
Nope.
Okay. Perfect. I like that.
So Brad,
this would be something. Go ahead.
I don't know if you have any words of wisdom or any things for him to consider. I have a few things, but any advice you want to give him?
Yeah. So, when it comes to investing, I think, we always talk about, and we talked about this off air about, adding to a certain amount to this each month, whether it's a percentage of your income or a set dollar amount. It doesn't matter to me as long as you're adding something to it, but also making sure that you have some sort of cash pile set aside for the crashes. Because they'll happen and they'll come, and then it'll make you worry about, should I pull out now because the stock market's crashing or we're having a huge correction or something like that? The answer is always going to be an emphatic no, especially if you're long-term investing, unless you're close to retirement, right? So having that cash on hand to be able to capitalize on crashes like that is really what's going to be key, especially if you're long-term investing. I mean, imagine you had a pile of cash ready to buy in February of 2020, March of 2020. I mean, you would be up a ton. at this point, instead of being afraid like everybody else was and selling and running for the hills.
Okay. All right.
A few things I want to mention to you. And I'll start with drip. Don Fry mentions turn on drip settings, dividend reinvestment, whatever, a dividend reinvestment strategy. I'm glad he said that, because I didn't tell you drip on purpose, because my first piece of advice is don't get caught in the weeds. Eventually, over time, you will learn about a bunch of stuff, and we'll help you through the process. We'll bring stuff up to you. But really what investing is about is reps. So as you get the reps in, you're going to start to hear the same things. So don't get discouraged if you don't know things. Just stay with it. And over time, you're going to start hearing the same things. And then you're going to be asking the right questions, and you're going to learn it. So it can get overwhelming really quickly. Yeah. You should absolutely do drip, and we'll make sure you do that. But it can easily you can get caught up in it. So take your time, be patient with the process, focus on percentages, not dollar values. This is probably the biggest thing. And Brad and I very early on talked about this. Percentages give you context. So if Brad made $1,000 today, that's very hard to understand context if his account's at $40,000, right? His public account's at $40,000. If you didn't know that, it's hard to give context, because $1,000 in a $40,000 account is different than if it's $1,000 in a $5,000 account, right? So percentages allow you to level the playing field. And this is kind of like sub thing is like people just look for cheap stocks. Lululemon's $400. Under Armour's under $19, under $20. Many people would run towards Under Armour. It is a good stock. It's a buy for us, but Lululemon is far superior. It's not even close. They're valued at that number for a reason. So it can be awfully tempting to buy just cheap stocks, or to say, I'd rather have 100 shares of something than one. Focus on percentages. Don't get caught up in just number or just values, because it's a trap. In my opinion, it's a trap. So that's the percentage is a big thing, because if you can scale percentages, that's the biggest reason. And as you make more money, if you hold the same percentages, that means that the money you make is going to go up. Don't check your account frequently. This is an investing account, so I wouldn't be checking it every day. This is about the long term. Don't need to sell. Just keep adding money into it. And dollar cost averaging is going to be the key to this. So the initial investment is great, but continuing subsequent investments every single month. We typically said 10% of the account. Brad does 10% of his income, whatever it is. I do 10% of account because I can easily calculate it. I don't have to go back. I know that if I've been in for 10 months, what that dollar value is. But either way, it works the same. Put money in consistently over time. Dollar cost averaging always wins for an investment account. And I think that's it, man. Last thing is, I would just stick to one or two trusted resources. You're going to get it once people find out you're into this. They're going to tell you every stock that you want to buy. Figure out your resources, and just stick to one or two. So you know the ones you believe in, and always trust yourself. At the end of the day, you're the one that has to hit buy. It's on you whether you make or lose money, not on that other person that told you the stock. Hell yeah, baby.
I like that. That makes sense, because a lot of people will just do that, not even to give me advice. I feel like too, it's just for them to tell me what they have going on in their portfolio and how they do it. They want to pontificate. So thank you. I'll be on the lookout for that. Yeah.
Brad, did you want to comment on any of those that I'd mentioned?
No, I thought that was perfect. And, I don't want it to get too overwhelming. So as things come, as questions come up, we'll certainly continue discussion in the weeks and maybe even months to come. I think honestly, and this is just me coming off the top of my head, fellas, but this could start to become a really good just segment overall. If Freddie's getting started in investing, there's going to be so many questions. Fat Man Zoom, both of us, and even Don can attest to this, is that like it's really hard to go back to the early days of investing. So with Freddie coming on board, it's going to be nice to be able to get some of those beginner questions again, because sometimes we kind of forget ourselves and forget where we came from to a certain extent, and just it'll be nice to kind of have those earlier on questions, and it's going to be great for some of our newer investors that are out there as well, that either maybe are too afraid or don't know which questions to ask. So I like it. I love it.
This is great. It's like back to the basics, back to the fundamentals. And honestly, I got zero fear. I feel like I feel like right now this is a village and I'm the newborn baby and everybody's taking care of me. You guys are my parents, but everybody, you got Don Fran saw me vandalizing somebody's property and smacked me over the head. He's like, "What the hell are you doing, you knucklehead? Get back to your parents, Fat Man Zoom and Brad." Everybody's taking care of me. I feel like I'm in the Chaos Crew nest. I feel comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean we do have a community, and we have people who we trust and we listen. So like our community brings stocks to the table, brings, it is much like that. It is much like a villain. But I wanted to give you, I know as we wrap up, I wanted to actually tell you something. I don't know if you remember this, but you came to Baltimore to visit and you were on the live stream, and that was in June. Okay. Quick statistic, you don't have to remember this, but the average rate of return on the market, let's just say it's 10% every year. So if your account, when you get into it, if you're doing over 10% a year on average, you're beating the market, great. So just keep that number in context. 10% a year is good. So when you guys were here in June, Scott was also with you and he was asking about buying stocks. And I actually bought one share of Apple just to show him how Webull worked. And I haven't done anything with that share. I've just held on to that one share. That one share was at $131 that day back in June, Freddie. So if you had put $1,000 in that day, it's actually up nearly 10%. So you would have made, doing nothing, $100, almost $100. It would actually be
that's supposed to cover me for the year theoretically, right? On the returns or whatever.
Well, so yeah, if you look at it that way, you're almost matching what the market does in 1 year. And that's the power of Apple. Apple typically outperforms the market, certainly over time. But my point to you is if you would have invested $1,000 that day, you would already be up 9%.
Wow.
Yep. And
I also love doing nothing. Yeah, this is right in my wheelhouse. I love it.
And that compounds over time too. Like that's the beauty of it too. That compound interest is going to be explosive, the more that time goes by. So yeah, by a ton. So it's going to be mind blowing when you continue to add to it and just keep investing. It's going to do really well for you, bro.
Hell yeah. Oh, this is exciting.
Well, we look forward to your journey, bro. The hardest step is just taking a leap like anything else. Is just taking that first step. Once you do it, have fun with it, enjoy it. We'll be here with you along the ride, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Hell yeah. I'm going to buy it right now. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you, Chaos Crew. Thank you.
Hell
Chaos
yeah, man.
Crew.
All right. So that's going to do it for us, guys. What a show. We covered so much shit. I think this is probably one of the best shows the three of us have put together. Since we've had Freddie on, I'm loving it. Can't wait till we have more conversations like this. I'm really looking forward to it. But guys, if you like that, make sure you hit the thumbs up. We certainly would appreciate the love and support. We go live again at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for Stock Watch Sunday, so you don't want to miss that because we're going to go over the 5 stocks that we think are going to make the biggest moves going into that week. We're coming up on earnings seasons, baby. I can't be more excited for that. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe. Earnings season, it should be starting within the next week and a half.
Okay, cool.
So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to get notified every time we go live. And Freddie, lastly, where can they find you?
Before I do that, shout out to Savvy Money Show, Sleepy Hippo XL, Lexa. You guys are crushing it in the comments. Shut the fuck up, Alexa. Alexa, shut the fuck up.
They heard Lexa.
That's funny. Find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Freddie Valoy, FreddyValoy. I think it's down here in this little banner. Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to do it for us, guys. We'll see you next time.
Alexa, suavemente.
Bye.
Bye.